Macomb County has a new area code.
Predictions for the holiday shopping season are optimistic.
Local firefighters offer holiday safety tips.
Old and new council members go back to school for a day.
I'm Kristen Kinsler. Coming up, I'll tell you why students at Stevenson and Henry Ford II high schools encourage you to add a special feature to your car this holiday season.
I'm Mickey York. The 1993 All-Macomb County football team has been announced. We'll highlight some of the players from this area that made the team. Also, Stevenson's girls basketball season came to an end. We'll have the highlights from that game. All of this and more coming up in sports.
Hello, I'm Joe Johnson.
And I'm Joe Sturza. We'll have those stories and take you out to the new improved Hayes Road, all up next on News 5.
From the Channel 5 studio in Sterling Heights, this is News 5 with Joe Sturza, Joe Johnson, and Mickey York with sports. Macomb County residents, here's the news that hits home.
It hasn't happened in southeast Michigan for 46 years, but last Thursday, Ameritech introduced a new area code to 6 counties served by the 313 code. December 1st began a 9-month transition for residents and businesses in Macomb, Oakland, Genesee, Lapeer, St. Clair, and Sanilac counties. The transition consists of converting all phone numbers in this area to the new 810 area code. During the 9-month period, callers can use either 313 or 810 when dialing. However, on August 10, 1994, callers must then begin using the new 810 area code. John Peterson, Community Relations Manager for Ameritech, visited the News 5 studios and told us that this additional area code will not affect telephone rates.
Essentially, what's a local phone call today will be a local phone call tomorrow. What's a toll call today will be a toll call tomorrow. The addition of this area code does not change calling rates at all. What it will change are the dialing patterns. So there will be instances now where what had been a local call previously, across 8 Mile Road, for instance, you'll have to dial an area code even though it's a local call.
The reason for this new area code is simple. Southeastern Michigan was quickly running out of phone numbers due to fax machines, pagers, and cellular phones. The addition of the new 810 area code will establish 3 million new numbers for the area, which will last another 20 years. The remaining counties in the 313 area will keep that number for their area code. Mr. Peterson also told us that this project began 2 years ago due to the fact that every central phone office in the world had to be reprogrammed to receive 810 calls. Plans to handle future phone growth include new area codes with any 3-digit combination and the possibility of phone numbers assigned to individuals similar to a Social Security number.
The holiday shopping season officially got underway the day after Thanksgiving, and according to local mall sources, this year's sales will be double the national average per person. According to Miles McPhee, general manager at Lakeside Center, the Taubman Company surveyed shoppers in its 5 Michigan malls, asking questions like, how much money will you spend on Christmas gifts this year, and what type of gifts will you buy? Well, they were pleasantly surprised to find out that shoppers at Lakeside plan to spend an average of $878 on gifts, which is more than double the national average of $428.
I think it's a good indicator that people are ready for the holiday season, that they want to put a little more joy in the season, so to speak, as far as their holiday purchases. It may mean that people's incomes have risen somewhat, over this year as opposed to last year, and that they're just ready to open the gate, so to speak, and spend a little more money.
The survey also pointed out that shoppers will be purchasing more practical gifts this year, and that the majority of them will use cash to buy those presents. The hot gift list from the survey highlighted many family-oriented presents, with Barney at the top of the children's list. When it came to the gift they wanted themselves, a number of shoppers surveyed simply asked for peace on earth. Drinking and driving is a problem that exists year-round, but when accidents happen at this time of the year, they seem all the more tragic. Last week, Wednesday, Students Against Drunk Driving members and city officials got together to kick off the Tie One On Red Ribbon campaign in Sterling Heights. News 5 student reporter Kristen Kinsler has the story.
As the holiday season approaches, red ribbons may become a standard feature on antennas of area cars. At least that is the hope of those who helped kick off the Tie One On for Safety campaign early last week. The red ribbons are a reminder to the driver and everyone else on the road to be alcohol-free when they get behind the wheel.
Oh, I think it's awful important to start the holiday season with people considering safe driving, not drinking. Driving and drinking just don't mix. And I think we want to start our holiday season on that tone and have a safe and healthy and wealthy holiday season.
Members of Students Against Drunk Driving from Henry Ford II High School and Stevenson High School were also in attendance to help tie one on. Getting local high school SAD chapters involved is especially important since it promotes safe driving habits for the new drivers.
I think it's good because back when I was in high school, there wasn't this, that was only 10, 11 years ago, there wasn't this of a put-together effort to try and stop these kind of things, so this is very good to see this.
Stevenson High School and Henry Ford High School set a good example for the future of our children. By getting involved in these programs, they can tell others don't drink and drive.
Henry Ford II SAD officer Kelly Addis explains why the Red Ribbon campaign is so important, especially this time of year.
Definitely, with Christmas coming up and in New Year's, is one of the biggest times for drunk driving related accidents, and I think a campaign like this before the holiday season really gets people thinking, and so then they think about it before they drink on New Year's. They make their plans, so if they're gonna drink, they have a safe way home.
Oh, especially at the holidays like Christmas and New Year's. This is where most of the kids and most adults would get in trouble. So remember, do not drink and drive.
MAD, or Mothers Against Drunk Driving, is sponsoring their 8th Tie One On campaign, and they expect over 1 million red ribbons to be distributed in Michigan through January 1st. MAD is proud that the efforts have led to positive results.
Accidents involving drinking drivers are down, so obviously there's some kind of effect going on somewhere with the education campaigns going on throughout the state. There's extra patrols with stepped-up enforcement for drunk driving, so the efforts seem to be paying off. We hope we can do better every year, obviously.
I think it's important because it's the holiday season and people are going to go out and party and do whatever, and if we keep on promoting this, we should see a result.
Even though the Tie One On campaign only lasted the holiday season, the thought behind it all should be one that is practiced throughout the year. From the Sterling Heights Police Department, reporting for News 5, I'm Kristen Kinsler.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving kicked off the Red Ribbon campaign on November 22nd during a ceremony in Lansing. In conjunction with the ceremony, MAD placed its Red Ribbon Memorial tree at the Michigan Historical Museum. The tree bears 502 ribbons, one for each person killed in Michigan last year due to alcohol-related accidents.
As people begin to decorate their homes for the holidays, the Sterling Heights Fire Department wants everyone to keep fire safety in mind. That's why the Firefighters Union Local 1557 conducted its 9th annual Fire Safety Christmas Show this past weekend. The annual show was held at Stevenson High School this year with one thing in mind: educate young children on holiday fire safety while entertaining them. And that's exactly what the Sterling Heights firefighters did. Besides several displays on fire prevention, advanced life support, and fire extinguishment, the firefighters put on a stage show that focused on the upcoming holidays and how children can be more fire safe. Firefighters performed several fire prevention songs based on popular solid gold tunes. And what would the day be without singing the 12 fire safe days of Christmas?
On the 12th day of Christmas, my party said to me, be careful when you're cooking, keep your chimney clean, check your smoking checkers, candles out for birthdays, gasoline is dangerous, Halloween, please don't play with matches, style 911, for all the smoke, stop, and don't burn your Christmas tree.
Event co-chairman Lieutenant Anthony Maltese told News 5 that this event and the department's Learn Not to Burn program are well worth the while of the firefighters.
It's very surprising to me that 20 years ago, even though there were less people who lived in Sterling Heights and less houses in Sterling Heights, we have a lot more houses now. A lot more people live in Sterling Heights. The population has grown, but really our serious fires are down in Sterling Heights, and I think it's because of efforts like this.
In the coming weeks, News 5 will continue to bring you fire safety tips relating to holiday decorations and heating devices.
Veteran council members may have a bit more experience over the newly elected members, but all felt they can benefit from a crash course in Effective Meetings 101. Every council person, City Manager Steve Duchesne and City Clerk Mary Zander gathered together on November 22nd for a presentation by Ken Verberg of Michigan State University. The goal was to examine methods of making council meetings as effective as possible.
So we'll be going through a series of overheads that I have that relate to making meetings effective, some points to consider about parliamentary procedure a little bit, Open Meetings Act a little bit, and also the whole idea of having a set of board rules, and then learning how to be cooperative with each other, giving some people an opportunity to talk while they listen, and we'll also be talking about public hearings and how those ought to be conducted and how those are different from decision-making meetings at the city council meetings.
Okay. Mr. Verberg said that he hoped the council members left the seminar feeling a sense of teamwork, which would help build a consensus among the group.
Described as one of the most dangerous intersections in Sterling Heights, 19 Mile Road in Merrill has finally received a traffic signal to alleviate the danger. According to Councilman Jay Pollard, who is the chairman of the Transportation Advisory Committee, the placement of the signal was in response to community concerns and took about 7 months to erect.
It was residents and the business together. Both had done petition drives a couple years ago, and I promised to take a proactive stand on the Transportation Board because I'm the council's appointee, and we've made a lot of accomplishments around the city, 19 in Merrill, 19 in Van Dyke. We're getting the left-hand turn signal put up on Utica and Van Dyke, stop signs on Purnell Drive, Fox Hill, those kind of things.
The signal at 19 in Merrill was obviously determined to be a necessity, but that may not necessarily be true in all cases. Councilman Pollard said that a request for a traffic sign or signal may not always be warranted and may even be dangerous.
The city's engineering department does a traffic study, an independent private firm do the studies, because sometimes stop signs aren't warranted, because what happens is sometimes when you put a stop sign up, it gives a false sense of security for the younger children. They think a car is going to stop when it may not and just run the stop sign. So you have to be real careful when you put it up.
If you feel that an intersection may be in need of a sign or signal, you can attend a meeting of the Transportation Advisory Committee. The board meets on the first Thursday of each month at 7:30 p.m., or you can call the Public Services Department at 977-6123, extension 190.
City and county officials gathered at 19 Mile Road in Hayes on a cold and drizzly November 24th to mark the official opening of Hayes Road.
I think our infrastructure in Sterling Heights is really coming about, and with Lakeside, with one of the biggest shopping centers in the country, with Shaner going through and now Hayes going through, the east side of the city really going to benefit by it, and it's really nice. Come a long way since I've been on the city council.
The project began on July 15th of this year to convert the asphalt road that was 2 lanes wide in some areas to a 5-lane concrete road. The project cost just under $3 million and came to an end very close to the predicted completion date.
Just an easier way to get to Lakeside Mall to spend your money for the Christmas holiday.
The Hayes Road project is the final county project to open up to the public this year. 17 Mile Road, which is a city project, opens up this week. And coming up on News 5, we're going to show you the unveiling of the 1994 Mustang at Jerome Duncan Ford.
We'll take you to Toyland, and we'll also be covering this.
Why has Tubby's decided to move its corporate headquarters to Sterling Heights? I'm Andrea Lundgren, and I'll have that story coming up.
I'm Keith Shelby in Shelby Township. Right now might not be the best time of year for playing golf, but it's as good a time as any for planning a new golf course. Coming up, I'll have all the details.
I'm Rob Plua. The boys' high school basketball season is approaching. Coming up in sports, I'll talk to a couple of coaches and give you a look ahead.
Exercise. Who's got the time? Well, Channel 5 makes it easy. Hi, I'm Cindy Sluskin. Join me Monday through Friday for Fitness in Motion. Twice a day, you can catch the innovative exercise program that goes one step above the rest. Fitness in Motion has something for everyone, and it will keep you going all year long. Catch Fitness in Motion at 8:30 and 5:30, only on Channel 5.
With the holiday season upon us, many people are concerned about the economy. But this next story should put some minds at ease. According to the Mackinac Center, a public policy think tank based in Midland, Sterling Heights is ranked #1 in economic growth. From 1980 until 1990, the city beat out other cities in areas such as per capita income, poverty rates, and job growth. More proof of this fact is in the businesses choosing to move into the city. Here to show us one such corporation is News 5's Andrea Lundgren.
Tubby's Sub Shops was a family-owned restaurant started in 1968. They started to franchise the Sub Shops 10 years later. Currently, Tubby's Sub Shops Incorporated has 63 stores, plus 5 Cafe Express stores located in Sears and 2 Stuff Your Face restaurants in New Jersey. Tubby's has grown since its first store opened in St. Clair Shores, and recently it relocated its headquarters to Sterling Heights.
We were in an industrial complex for about 10 years, and we wanted to locate on the east side. And we did a rather extensive search of the area, and we knew we wanted to be located in Macomb County. And Sterling Heights was a natural vehicle for us to consider because we're heavily concentrated within the area.
The new location offers convenience to this local company.
We're in daily contact with all our franchisees. We have franchise committees, we have a franchise advisory council, we have a franchise advertising council. We're continually in the stores, monitoring the stores, the employees, the cleanliness, the appearance, the service.
As Mr. Pagan has mentioned, this move to Sterling Heights will help them continue to grow in the hopes of one day reaching their current goal of 1,000 franchise stores like this one located near Hall and Shana Roads. Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Lundgren.
Continuing with the concerns of local businesses, the members of the Macomb County Community Growth Alliance gathered together Thursday, December 2nd at the First National Bank in Macomb County. The reason for the gathering was to review and update the process and efforts to reform the nation's health care system. The speaker for the day was Darlene Burgess, Vice President of Corporate Government Affairs for Henry Ford Health System. She explained that the idea for a national health care system is a complicated one.
My belief is that it is so complicated that that's been one of the barriers to dealing with these issues in the past, that everybody knows that once they got started, it would take a long time and take a lot of time on the congressional agenda.
Ms. Burgess said she feels that the question most people seem to be concerned about is, with all the variables, will people still receive coverage comparable to what they get now?
On Tuesday, November 23rd, Jerome Duncan Ford in Sterling Heights invited the public to examine the newest car it has to offer, though its name may be familiar. The 1994 Mustang was unveiled to the community during an open house at the dealership. It's the first new Mustang to be introduced to the public since 1979.
It's just been too long almost since we needed a new Mustang in styling, and I think they're all aware because of their reports throughout the factory is that it's just been thoroughly done over. It's not just an appearance car. It's been thoroughly done, and you know, they work in components, you know, so to see it all put together here, I think is very exciting for them.
As part of the exhibit, Mustangs from various eras were also on display. They were on loan from Jerome Duncan Ford customers.
A nice thing that really Ford Motor Company is doing nationwide is they felt the kickoff for the Mustang should include getting with the Mustang clubs. So if there isn't an official Mustang club in the area, we go to individual owners and get the Mustang enthusiasts out and kind of tie it in. It's a very exciting time for them also, I'm sure, as we come out with our new Mustang this year.
It took only 3 years for the '94 Mustang to go from concept to completion, and the average cost for the car is about $19,000. The Mustang, introduced in 1979, went for a whopping $2,300.
Each month, the Sterling Heights Cultural Commission honors a local artist by displaying his or her work in the lobby of City Hall. December's Artist of the Month contributes to the holiday atmosphere at City Hall. Actually, there are 2 honorees, the mother-daughter team of Billy and Renee Marsack. Mom makes handcrafted clay Santa Clauses, and Renee creates a variety of clay figures into animals.
I have been collecting Santas, the old-fashioned type of Santa, and I took a pottery class, and the teacher gave us a lot of leeway, and he let me start making my own Santas, and one thing led to another, and, you know, I make them all the time now.
We just liked doing it, and we had so much stuff that we decided we should try to sell it, and found out that people would like it.
The 2 began working with clay about 6 years ago, and today have their own business called Marsack Clay Works. They show their crafts at galleries and art fairs, including Sterling Heights. Cultural Commissioner Robert Wright says the Artist of the Month benefits City Hall as much as it does the artist.
We got a good reception on this. I really like to do it. And it's good for the city. They see this, and it's good for the artists. And it brings a touch of culture, I guess, in City Hall. A lot of people think we need it. So.
If you would like to recommend an artist for an upcoming month, contact the city's Office of Community Relations at 977-6123, extension 102.
It's been a plan in the making for the past 20 years. Shelby Township is developing an 18-hole championship golf course. And as Keith Shembry reports, the course will make all the residents of Shelby winners.
Cornerstone Golf Course is what it will be called, and it will be located on township property adjacent to the Township Hall and the Community Center on Van Dyke between 23 and 24 Mile Roads. The facility will provide 18 holes of championship golf, a clubhouse, a driving range, and a miniature golf course. But one of the most important things that the golf course will provide, according to Shelby Township Supervisor James Van Havel, is a revenue for the Parks and Recreation program.
Well, I believe residents, whether you're a golfer or a non-golfer, is to look at the financial side of it, the money that's going to be brought into the community. And if you use that money properly, in which I think this board has done, by directing it for Parks and Rec. And that's kind of the way we came up with our name of the course, the Cornerstone. It's a cornerstone of our Parks and Rec facilities in Shelby Township.
One concern residents of Shelby Township might have is what happens if the golf course fails. Are the taxpayers at risk? Mr. Van Havel explains not to worry.
This facility is being put up, no risk to the township. Golf Facilities is putting up all the front money and guaranteeing us X number of dollars a year or a percentage, whichever is the greatest.
You're probably sitting there thinking that this is just too good to be true. Shelby must be paying a lot of money to get this golf course. But that's just not so. The only thing Shelby is furnishing is 200 acres of land that they weren't really using anyways. The construction for this new course on the land is expected to start at the beginning of next year. Come June of 1995, which is the target date for the opening of the Cornerstone Golf Course, that shot I just hit might be a nice one down the middle of the fairway. But for right now, it's just another lost ball. In Shelby Township, I'm Keith Shembry for News 5.
Another benefit golfers in Shelby Township can look forward to is discounted greens fees on their rounds of golf at the Cornerstone Golf Course. Well, it might be a little cold for golfing right now, but certainly indoor sports are in full swing, right, Nick?
That's right, and girls basketball ended up a couple weeks ago for Stevenson High School. This story is so old it just couldn't wait any longer. Never let it be said that Channel 5 is not your source of sports information. The Stevenson-Regina game was played nearly 2 weeks ago, but thank goodness Channel 5 was there, and now we finally bring you this post game report.
If you weren't there, you missed a good one. This game was nip and tuck the whole way. Both teams played ferocious defense, and Regina pounded the boards en route to a 21-20 halftime advantage. In the second half, the point guards took over. Regina's Lisa Francis comes up with the steal, goes the distance, and lays it up for 2. Thank you very much. Stevenson's Nicola Parafelice, a little embarrassed by that, gives it right back to Lisa. The shot, the foul, and the exclamation, yes! Stevenson still trailed until Lisa Bruckart hit a triple from the corner to tie it at 33. It didn't stay that way for long. Regina answered right back with a bomb of its own and clamped down the rest of the way to hold on for a 45-38 victory that brought relief for the Satellites and left Stevenson head coach Wayne Long looking forward to next year.
What happens from here? You wait for next year and go get it again.
A tough way to end for the Lady Titans, but they've had an awfully good run. They finish at 20-4. They'll be hanging a three-peat division championship banner in the gym, and will also add another district championship trophy to the trophy case. So not a bad season, not bad at all. All the votes have been cast and the ballots have been tallied, and this year's all-Macomb County football team is complete, and as you might have guessed, it's dominated by Eisenhower and Stevenson players. There are some good ones on the first-team offense. Josh Regeneris of Utica is the only non-Ike or Stevenson player from this area to make the list. Jason Kavanaugh, John Thomas, and Scott Hegel represent Eisenhower. Jason Tesmer and Mike Carpenter rounded out for Stevenson. The schools from this area were also well represented on the first-team defense. Ryan Wood was a standout all year for Stevenson. Mike Budzik, Keone Williams, and Hector Grandchamp did the job for Ike. Kyle Rojeski performed double duty at quarterback and defensive back for Utica, as did Ford's Brian Krenzel. More on Krenzel in a moment. Plenty of second-teamers from the Macomb Area Conference as well. Gordy Felzak, Joe Rusin of Stevenson, and quarterback Vito Fazzolera of Sterling Heights made second-team offense. Mike Mead of Utica, Joe Straczynski of Sterling Heights, and Rick Wankor of Stevenson complete the second-team D. Now, I mentioned that Henry Ford II's Brian Krenzel played both sides of the ball as a quarterback and defensive back. He did both so well that he was named the 1993 Macomb County Player of the Year.
I was shocked. You know, it's a great honor with all the great players in the county and some of the seasons that the teams had. You know, Stevenson has great players, Eisenhower, and they had some great years. And I really thought that some of those players were going to get the award. And when the announcer was talking and he was kind of leaving it suspenseful as to who was getting the award, and it was a shock. And you know, I was extremely happy.
Brian's probably the best and the most exciting all-around player I've ever coached. We've had, you know, some great offensive linemen, we've had some great defensive linemen, we have some great linebackers, but as an all-around athlete on both sides of the ball, definitely Brian is probably the best we've had.
The Falcons' 5-4 record wasn't good enough to earn them a spot in the playoffs, but Brian's performance should be more than good enough to earn him a place on the Wall of Fame.
It sugarcoats it, yeah. You know, especially with the two tough losses, the triple overtime to Utica and the 1-point loss to Eisenhower, where we were real close there in the 2-point conversion in the final minutes. So it definitely puts a bright spot in this season.
Congratulations, Brian. It was a great year. Congratulations should also be extended to Utica Eisenhower. Besides a bunch of individual honors, the Eagles were named Team of the Year by Macomb County coaches. Bob Lancey and his staff were also named Coaches of the Year, and it's hard to argue with that. The Eagles have won 6 straight Red Division titles. They've appeared in the playoffs 5 straight years, and they were the #1 team in the state this year until being upset by Stevenson in the regional playoffs. Lancey and his staff have truly built one of the top programs in the state. It's a well-deserved honor. Well, we're going to bounce back to Henry Ford II and make a stop over at Stevenson as Rob Plua previews the upcoming high school boys basketball season.
For this year's boys basketball preview, let's start with Stevenson. Last year, the Titans finished with a record of 12-10. And according to Coach Morris, last year's team lost a few close ball games only because they had missed the opportunity to win them. But this year, things are going to be different. With 8 returning players, there's a lot of experience to do something with.
Well, we would like to be a little bit stronger offensively than we have been in the past. We would like our defense to improve a little bit with experience as we've gotten older, but defense has been pretty decent the last couple of years. We hope that we can score more than we have been.
This is the first time in a long while the guys on this team not only think they can, but will win. Those players to keep an eye on this season are both all-league players, namely center Matt Adams and forward Joe Russin. Coach Morris said that the team Stevenson will have to watch out for this year really will be about everyone. With all of them strong contenders, it'll be up to which team can get off to a good start first and develop the right chemistry.
Now over here at Henry Ford II High School, they too have a lot of returning players, so their story is pretty much the same, but their team certainly is not.
Last year's Falcons were definitely the team to beat. Surprising a lot of people, they finished as MAC White, District, and Regional champs. But that was then, and this is now. As Coach Barker explains, trying to replace last year's seniors won't be the only tough thing to do.
And unfortunately, basketball is a tough sport because you can only play 5, 6, 7 kids. And that could be my toughest problem. But I try to tell them, here's your role, and this is how it's going to be. And hopefully some will surprise me, which they did last year. I think they're all going to have some great moments for us, no question.
Helping to give some of those surprises for the Falcons this year will be 6' 2.5" Matt McCullough and 6' 7" Chad Lambert. Coach Barker said that the taboo teams for the Falcons this year will be Romeo and Utica. Both of those teams also have quite a few return players and are likely to give Henry Ford II a good show, just like the one that we, the audience, are sure to get all season. Reporting for News 5 Sports, I'm Rob Plua.
We'll continue a preview of the MAC teams from this area next week with stops at Sterling Heights, Utica, and Eisenhower. Now, it's hard to believe the basketball season is already here, and it's already here in Game of the Week. Our first feature is men's basketball, and it was a great game for Soft Tech, not a good one for the Running Weasels.
This was a common occurrence, a missed shot by the Weasels, the rebound, fast break, and an easy hoop for Soft Tech. They made the easy ones, the hard ones, the short ones, the long ones, the layups, and the jumpers. You get the idea, they didn't miss much. No, it wasn't a shutout. The Running Weasels did score, but not a lot. Losing to Soft Tech by 51 points. The final, not so Soft Tech 83, the Running Garden Weasels 32.
Well, that'll do it for sports for this week. Joe?
First of all, Mickey, I have to wonder, do you think Stevenson would beg to differ about who was the team of the year this past football season?
They might have a slight argument there. You know, Rick Bye is an outstanding coach, but Eisenhower's been doing it year after year after year, so I think Lansky deserves it.
Both teams deserve kudos, but do you think the basketball season is going to see the same rivalry?
Well, it's hard to tell right now. As Coach Morris said over at Stevenson, it's just way too early. Anything can happen. It's a long season.
Any picks?
No, not right now. Talk to me about a week left in the season. I'll have a definite prediction.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mickey. As we mentioned several times in this newscast, 1993 has been a positive year for Sterling Heights and Macomb County. Last Wednesday, the Sterling Heights Area Chamber of Commerce held its annual Christmas party, and members took the time to look back at a great year.
It's been a good year for us. We had a couple of rough ones like everybody else. We're no different than the rest of the business community, but this has been a positive year, and particularly in the Sterling Heights area. I think things are looking up economically and job-wise and everything else. We're very optimistic.
Ms. Janssens went on to praise the chamber staff and the volunteers that make the organization what it is. Both the outgoing and incoming presidents of the Chamber of Commerce agree that it has been a positive year for the Chamber, the communities it serves, and the businesses that network throughout the organization.
Tonight is one reason, if you will, that we can all join together and say, great, this is terrific. And we've enjoyed considerable success as the Chamber this past year because the business community and our friends in the city and so forth have joined together and really made this a terrific year. And it's the people, that's what makes it great. And that's what I enjoy.
That's what the Chamber's all about. And there are functions that when we get together, we network. And that's how you get your business to grow and make the Chamber grow together.
If you're interested in becoming a member of the Sterling Heights Area Chamber of Commerce, you may stop by their office located on Hall Road at the Sterling Town Center or call them at 731-5400.
Finally today, if you're not quite in the holiday spirit, or if you enjoy listening to the music of the season, then why not attend a holiday musical spectacular planned by the students at Stevenson High School. This Thursday and Friday at 7:30 p.m., all 5 Stevenson choirs will perform in the Christmas Toyland production at the William R. Pepper Performing Arts Center. Barb Petras, assistant director for the Toyland show, told News 5 about this year's production.
Well, there's a lot of songs in the concert that everyone knows, the basic every Christmas Day songs, and there are some that you probably haven't heard before. But the medley that was put together is it's fantastic. It's great, and just songs that some people in the audience you can sing along with, and some you can just sit back and relax and enjoy our songs.
As a community service, the Stevenson choirs are offering free tickets to local senior citizens for Thursday's performance. Director of Stevenson Choirs, Julie Harder, says that over 2 months of preparation has gone into the Toyland show.
It's a great, great show. We have spent a lot of time on choreography for it and a wonderful set design by Jack Poma. He's one of the residents and a former alumni of the Stevenson Choirs. And so there's a magic present on stage, and we have choirs emerging from it. So it will be a really special night.
For more information on the Toyland show or for tickets, call 268-4700 extension 66. Each concert will end with the Hallelujah Chorus performed by the 140 students and Stevenson alumni. And on that note, we will wrap up this week's edition of News 5.
Don't forget about Sterling Christmas, which takes place in Dodge Park on Saturday at 6 p.m. We'll see you there.
And before we leave, we have to say goodbye to Joe Johnson. JJ is leaving for TCI Cable, and this is his last newscast. Joe, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that the thing I'm going to miss the most about working with Channel 5 is the people, not just the people here at Channel 5, but throughout the City Hall and the Police Department and the Library and Parks and Recreation. Great bunch of people to work with. I'm going to miss them.
Well, thanks again, and good luck at TCI.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Good night.